Okay, let's try it. Well, let me just pause here. For those of you that aren't on Zoom, that can look now, we've gone to the view when the view ribbon. And I'm getting over to go to where it says tile view. So let's get back into it. Yeah, that I'm interested in. So the book gets into this, for any of you that the mouse wheel is difficult to use, there's a lot of other ways of zooming in and out. What I'm doing to go in and out is I put my mouse where I want to go, and then I use the scroll wheel on my mouse to zoom in to wherever my mouse is. So that's the fastest way to get around it. Now, there's other commands that will do that. But when you saw me point my mouse at the corner and then I started zooming in, I was using my mouse wheel in the middle to go in and out. So that's the fastest way to get in and out on your drawing. Now, the book talks about many of the other commands, and some of you that might be the most appropriate way to do it. But if you do have access to the mouse wheel, that's the easiest way to do it. You get your mouse to the area you want to go to, and then you just roll in with the wheel or out with the wheel to zoom in and out. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of trying to show you how I can work in plan and then also see what's happening in 3D here. That little triangle drop. I made a mistake. The ISO mode in SketchUp, remember when you looked at the thing in SketchUp, it wasn't an actual perspective, it was like an isometric. So in order to save computer processing power, the default 3D view in Revit is not an actual perspective with vanishing points. It's like one of those ones where it's just extruded up from the plan, and it just does that so it can do quick processing power. Okay. So let's keep going here. So the lower left kind of gives you like little instructions. So when you clicked on that wall, it said, oh, I don't know how to add walls. Well, it says control adds and shift on select. And then it said tab for alternates. Let me just pull mine up and show you here. Okay, so I'm gonna click on a wall. So when it says tab for alternates, I'm gonna hold the tab key down and click the tab key, and it does all the walls that are connected to that wall. Then it does all the walls and the room that's connected to the wall, and then it goes back to the wall. So that tab gives me different alternates when I just selected that left wall. So if you're confused about, well, how do I want to add a wall? Do I do Control or Shift to add? Well, you can always look in the lower left and it'll kind of give you little hints. Yeah, keep rolling here. Do you remember this? SketchUp and AutoCAD was the same way. When you do your window from left to right, only the things with the two endpoints get selected. If you go from right to left, everything that crosses, it's exactly the same setup. So that's what I'm showing you here. Just gonna pause here. The filter also showed up here because I selected multiple things. So you can get the filter up at the top, but I went down way to the lower right corner and it shows, it's got a little filter with a 45 on it. That showed me that I selected 45 items and the filter showed me what was in there. This is a really powerful tool if you wanted to select just one thing. So let's go ahead and watch how we do that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Where was it selecting it?
So it's this little button right to the right of modify.
Okay, oh, that's hidden by the Zoom.
Oh, okay, so let me just pull
No,
up.
there, no, I got rid of the
Oh, you
thing
got
in the
it?
way. Okay, I'm sorry.
So let's just go back and show you one more time here. This is important. We're gonna keep the ribbon fully expanded all the time through class. Now, if you were super, you use this all the time and you had a great memory, you can go ahead and memorize all these keyboard shortcuts, because you can see like when you hold it up, the tooltip shows up and then it shows like a little video about how to use it. But right after that in parentheses, AL is the keyboard shortcut for the align command. Now, me personally, I could have learned keyboard shortcuts for SketchUp, keyboard shortcuts for AutoCAD, and keyboard shortcuts for Revit, but then I wouldn't have known any of them because I've been totally confused. I decided early in my career, I used AutoCAD and I had all the keyboard shortcuts memorized. I never learned keyboard shortcuts for anything else because I didn't want to get confused, because I know I've got them all memorized for AutoCAD, but I didn't want to get confused. So it's up to you to do it, but I would not try to use keyboard shortcut for every software you learn, because it gets too confusing. Unless your brain's sharper at your younger age than I am. So anyway, the little button is here and it toggles through. See, so you can say where you want to go, but if you just keep clicking it, it'll toggle through. Now, the reason you would get rid of that is, let's imagine that you only do a certain thing and you only need 2 keyboard shortcuts and you want a bigger drawing area. Then you would minimize that and just use the keyboard shortcuts. But most people in their working world that I see, they always keep it maximized. And that's what my videos show, that's what the book shows, so keep that maximized. So on the first assignment, you're gonna go around, and that's one of the 5 things I'm gonna tell you to demonstrate to me that you know how to get rid of the ribbon and get it back. Okay, so let's go back into the video.
Thank you.
Yep. So you're gonna see this over and over again. Like when I started hand drafting, I went to AutoCAD. I was 2 to 3 times faster in AutoCAD than hand drafting. When I went from AutoCAD to Revit, I could do 3 times as much work in Revit as I could in AutoCAD. So this is why this is the wave of the future. To draw a door in, trim all the wall lines and flip it around in AutoCAD, we'd still be dinking around with that, right? It wouldn't take us just a second. So that's why we spend 3 terms learning how to use this software, because this is the wave of the future. AutoCAD is the past and it still needs to be learned because there's a lot of jobs that still use AutoCAD, but this is the future. Okay, let's go back in. Hey, let's take another break and then we'll get started on actually working through the book. When's this class over 3:50?
4:10.
Or 10? Okay, we got about an hour left. Let's take another break quick here. I'll give you you can mess around with it a little bit if you want. So let's take about a 10-minute break. And that'll be our last break for the day, if that's okay. Then we'll go run through till 4:10. So just a little comic thing. I don't know why this is all saying this, but we had a training day at West Church. And they told us all this stuff to do, and then they stopped their video. And that was on there, and everybody started laughing. So thank you for not laughing at me with that. Yeah.
Which ones are you?
No, I know, they just put that in there, but we just like 400 people in a room, and we just do this thing talking about all the stuff they want us to do, and that thing popped up next on the video playlist. Yeah, good times.
Should we be doing the same as?
No, that was just to take around with, to show you guys the software.
Okay.
put out for the. What we're supposed to do, we have to show you.
You want us to have this file open still or to send it?
The, you can keep it open or you can close it.
Okay.
But the book had you open multiple files, just so it shows you can have two buildings open at once as you work through the book. You don't need to say what we just did, flipping that wall around.
Oh,
So you'll come around to each one of us. Do that?
Yeah, the first time, and that's what I'm gonna talk about when we're done with break. Oh, so he's gonna wait till after that. So that. I thought they let, want to get those stories, just go right to their website and download it, so there's a download it from. But it's great. You can see the book on the one that the block where you can. Just pick the one that works the best for you. I'll work on it. I'll get first of the month. Where you? Oh,
Here.
well, like what were we? Where were we for? Okay, let's get our heads back into this. I think we're gonna actually probably be pretty much okay. We didn't lose that much time. So let's talk about how we're gonna do this first chapter. So let's just look at Pete's notes first. So before I start a chapter, I'd like to just get an overview on Pete's notes. So these are the things that I found out that were mistakes. And it's important, so on page 131, they tell you to use a template. It's important to use a template that the book tells you to, because once you start with a template, it's already got a bunch of walls and stuff already loaded into that template. So don't skip through that part. I tell you to skip the last pages on that section. And then there's self-review tests at the end, so I've got a scanned copy of that first page because I didn't know if the book was gonna work out or not, that they were gonna get delivered in time. There's a couple things I want to show you about the book. One is that we need to know our file types. So the templates that you start out with, those are called template files. And so those are RTE at the end of the file type. So it'll ask you like, what template do you want to use to start this project? You pick a template and then you have a choice of saving that as a template or a project file. We always want to save it as a project file because, right, we're just using that template to start. So the project file is RVT, which is just Revit without the vowels in it. So most of the stuff you're going to be working on is a RVT file. Now, I've got some things downloaded that the book has you put into the house, like the fireplace mantle and stuff. Those are RFAs, so those are families. Those are like little items that go into Revit. So if you see an RFA, that's a family file. And if you're gonna start to make your own families, then you deal with RFTs. So the long and the short of it is, when you start a project, it should be saved as a project file, which is an RVT. And that's how you know that when you look at it in your file explorer, it says RVT at the end, you've done it right. So now I'm gonna go back into my, so we looked at Pete's notes, we looked at the chapter. Now I'm gonna look at your first assignment. This is the only assignment that's due for tomorrow. Go through chapter 1 in the book. The office and church sample files are included on Blackboard. We've already opened the church one and messed with it. Read Pete's notes regarding the pages we are going to skip. I've got a copy of this thing printed out. These are the 5 things I want you to show me you know how to do. I want you to toggle through those 4 ribbon states. So I know you're paying attention. I want you to turn the properties palette off and turn it back on. I want you to turn the project browser off and turn it back on. I want, again, if you can use the mouse wheel, I'd like you to use the mouse wheel to zoom, pan, and zoom to fit. So the book talks about how to do this. I already showed you how to zoom in, but I didn't show you how to pan and zoom to fit, so that's in the book. And then I want you to go on to the Revit help command, which the book shows you how to use, and find me the help regarding the copy to the clipboard command. So if you can do those 5 things, I'm just having you demonstrate it. Like, raise your hand, Pete, I'm ready to show you that. And I'm gonna have this list in my hand and I'm gonna say, okay, show me this, show me this, show me that. And if you can do it without looking at the book, then I know you got it. Does that make sense? So that's your only assignment that's due tomorrow. I'm just gonna go into Blackboard here. Let me open this up here. So if I look at our calendar, what assignments are due tomorrow? Oh, okay, so I've got the lake cabin floor plan. I'm gonna have to move that back. Okay, so I don't think maybe we'll be able to get some of it done, but I'm gonna adjust that. So don't panic about not getting the lake cabin floor plan. So what he does is he has you do the first chapter, which is background. Then he has you do a real simple little building just to get your head into it and to see where we're going with it. And then he kind of steps back and shows you how to use Revit as a drafting tool, similar to AutoCAD, except you're just drawing lines. It's just like a drafting tool. So that's the chapter 3. So I'm probably going to adjust this just because I lost the first hour of class. Normally I can get all this done in one class, but we lost an hour. So I'm gonna not grade you down late on the lake cabin floor plan. So it's not a race. I'm gonna adjust some of these 2 times. Okay. So that's what we're doing. Just start working on that first chapter. And I'm gonna see if I can get you a copy of that. If I bought a thumb drive up, could I put it onto your computer somewhere and you get to it? I think I could, right? So let me go, it's too big for me to email to you, so I'm gonna get a thumb drive to get it up to them. It's
Oh, never mind, I don't know.
That's where the.
Person out. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, shoot. Nice. So you drive on the front, how you doing?
I don't mind.
That's just unbelievable. Okay.